So the topic has come up about 3 or 4 times in the last few days, so I want to jump on and do a video about this. It was all moms who were having a lot of low back pain when they were trying to get their kids in and out of the crib, okay? And so a lot of that pain comes from us bending with our back, i.e. we're making that C shape and reaching down to try and sneak them in, rather than moving from our hip joint, all right? There's a huge difference there. These joints are not designed to bear the load of flexion, while the hip is a true ball and socket joint. So our thigh bone is a ball at the top, it meets our pelvis here, and we can rotate around, twist and turn, and that's why all our hips should have so much motion, okay? So we're gonna go over what this kind of looks like. So when they would be reaching in a crib, or you like this fancy crib here, we got it, about the right height. But when we reach down and in, a lot of people will round their back to try and sneak it in. And that's because they don't realize how to move from the hip. What we want to see is being able to stick your rear end back, reach down with a flatter spine, and then we load up this hamstring on all that tension and pressure, okay? And so that will relieve the back pain. Going down is important, but also starting when we're going to pick them up. If we're here, guess what? We're gonna end up hurting our back, okay? We need to be wide stance and out here. Let's go over a few cues on how I coach this to my clients. At home, I would hope that everybody has a broom, and what you would do is just unscrew the broom handle, okay? We then take that pole back behind our back, and you would stand straight up. We want this pole touching 3 points: head, mid-back, and tailbone. When we first go over this with people, when they bend forward, this pole moves way out here, because all their motion is coming from their spine, all right? So if that's you, know that we need to widen our stance and stick our rear end back as we move through. That pole should easily sit mid-back, or head, mid-back, and tailbone all the way through this position, all right? For people who are here, this is a starting point, okay? Do reps of this exercise here as you loosen up the ball and socket joint, okay? For people who might have pain doing that exercise, we would then have them go down, and all we're now doing is stay upright and slowly sit back onto your heels. You notice the spine isn't moving much. We are spinning at our hip joint here. All this is based on a hip hinge. If you are deadlifting and you can't perform these simple tasks, guess what? You are eventually going to end up with low back pain on a deadlift, all right? To spin this into a positive, if you can do this exercise, if you can do the dowel rod or broom exercise, now we start adding load. So we would want to add weight because we want people to lift heavy and strong. I want people deadlifting, okay? So a good starting point is go ahead and grab a kettlebell or any type of weight at home. A gallon of milk to start is easy enough. And what I would want is start high, all right? Start with this under you, so you reach down while looking up and come back up and down and up and down. We're maintaining that same spinal posture as we're doing this. How do we progress from here? We start lowering the weight, okay? I don't have anything that's in between right here, but then we eventually go down all the way to the ground, which would mimic a barbell deadlift. Again, better spinal posture. We need to know which progression you're at to be able to load you properly, all right? If you have back pain, we might need to modify where your starting position is for your deadlift. It doesn't mean eliminating it, but we need to modify where you're starting. If you struggle with the hip hinge, or if any of these exercises where you're bending down, dropping your kid into the crib, bending down to pick up a piece of paper, if that's producing pain, let's talk, because it might be you're moving from your back and not your hip. We'll see you next time, guys.